Howdy y'all. Alright, so today I want to talk to y'all about how I worked through some ideas on getting this camera mounted to this helmet. So it comes with this case right here. And the first decision you got to make is, do you want to mount it on the top of the helmet or on the side of the helmet? I personally like to get it as close to my eyes, and if possible I like to get it kind of low so that it kind of frames my handlebars. Now if you want to put it on top, this ain't so bad. You can put it up there. The one problem is that they put the microphone jack in the bottom because Sony's stupid. So what you got to do if you want to put a microphone jack in it is you got to drill through this, which is going to break this clasp. So what you can do to solve that problem is get you one of these. There. That'll get it done. So with a drill and a rubber band, you can top mount this thing pretty well, I think. Now let's talk about the side. Now on the side, you got another problem, which is this doesn't really side mount. Now another decision you're going to have to make is whether or not you want your helmet in your field of view. I kind of don't like that. It doesn't bother me when I watch other people's videos, but it bothers me when I watch my own videos and I can see my helmet in the field of view. If you can get past that, then what you could do is you can just put some Velcro either on this or on the camera directly and just Velcro it right there. Get some heavy duty Velcro and then you can adjust your angles a little bit. I think that'd be a pretty good solution. So if you want like the most minimalist thing, you could just do that like that. Now I wanted to be right here, and you know, if I mounted it like that, it'd be pointing the wrong direction. So I needed to point it like this so that my helmet wouldn't be in the field of view, but it'd still be in a good place. So this is an exo frame. This is something that Sony makes for this camera. You can put it in there like that. You can put it this way, you can put it upside down, you can put it that way, you can put it in all kinds of different directions. So that's pretty clever. It comes with two kinds of mounts. One is the one that's on the side, which is how I have it on there right now, side mount. And then the other is this one. And this one basically, you can put it like that, and you can top mount it, or bottom mount it, and you can put it on this side, that way or that way. So you can really mount the camera in a lot of different ways, and you think it's a good idea, but hey, how do we protect the lens on this thing, right? Because right here is a little lens protector, right? This is cool. Yeah, I like that. So that's how that goes on there. And then you could stick your camera on here and have it protected. And now if I could just mount my lens on here with this, let's see how that would work. Oh, you know what? You can't put that lens protector with this because Sony's stupid. So what I did is I dremeled out a bunch of the casing. So the lens protector fits on there with the case. Now I took too much material off here. After I did it, I realized I could probably real easily take some material off the actual lens protector. So I'm going to do this again, and I'm probably going to cut about right here on the case and dremel this back a little bit more. And that way I don't have just this little piece holding it together. But this works all right. I've been riding with it. It does okay. It's these tabs right here and right there that actually hold the camera in. So that's pretty solid. And you can see what I did to attach it here. This is the same mount that I use for my top mount for my GoPro, the A21 from Home Depot. So I put that right there, and it took me a lot of trial and error to get this bent just right so that the camera pops on there and gives me exactly the view angle that I want. Now as for how I mount the camera to that, let's see here. Here's kind of another one that I made for doing top mount. Basically, I made a little stud right there, just took a screw and cut it down. I'm basically trying to simulate this right here. This is like a standard camera mount, because this camera does use a standard 1/4 camera mount. So see how this has this little tab right here? That's to keep the camera from rotating, and that keeps it on there. And then it has kind of like a rubber washer right there, and then a 1/4 screw. So that's what I did here, is I got a rubber screw, I got a little rubber washer right there in between the camera and the surface of the mount, and then I put a little lock washer on the bolt. And then I got this little tab right there. That's the same thing as that right there, holding together so it won't rotate. So that works pretty good. That keeps it on there. And then, because there's an opening on this case, I have access to my audio ports. Pop that open right there. Yeah, you can't open it while the case is on there because Sony's stupid. There, and I put my microphone in there, and I run my microphone right there. Now, I did all that, and I was still a little bit worried that it was going to fall off. So, I got a leash. Sony was smart enough to make it where you could pop a leash on this thing. I'll show you that real quick. This is actually the Gopro Leash. The leash that came with the ASV100 was just a little bit too short and a little bit too thin and chintzy because Sony's stupid. So I had to use the Gopro Leash. Alright, so there it is with the leash on it right there, and then I just run this through my chin strap like that. Put it through there. There. And if my camera gets knocked off, it's still going to be hanging on to my chin strap. If my head gets knocked off, then I'm going to lose the camera with it. So let's talk a little bit more about some things that I tried that didn't work. There's this right here, which I looked at a little bit. This is a standard mount, and this is a standard camera mount. It's actually made for this camera, and then it goes to the GoPro hardware. So if you want to adapt this camera to GoPro hardware, you could do that. I tried that. Once I put it on here, it was just sticking out too far, and I didn't like it. Another thing I tried was this right here. I was going to use this with this, and I thought it was going to articulate so that I could adjust my camera mount, but see, those are the stops right there, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 5 stops in between every 90 degrees, which means if my camera's off a little bit, there's no way I can tilt it just a little bit. It'll pop back into place there. So this is worthless. So another problem you have to solve here is when you put this in this case, you can no longer see any lights on the camera to tell whether or not it's on. So what I did is I drilled a hole right there. That right there is the indicator light from the camera's on. So I still can't see it from inside the helmet directly, but I can at least tilt my head and look in my mirror and see if this is on. So I have some way of checking for myself pretty easily if this is on. If I had a camera that was top mounted, then I have no way of checking if it's on. So if you ever watch me do dual vlogs with CDS Feller, what you don't realize is we cut out about I don't know, 20 or 30 minutes of footage every ride of me looking at his camera and telling him whether or not it's on. Is it on? Yeah, it's on. I think it's on. Wait a minute. Yeah, blink. Wait, was that a blink or was it a reflection? No, that was a blink. Okay, yeah, it's on. Anyways, I like being able to see for myself whether or not my camera's on, so I drilled a little hole right there, and I can see that. One other problem to mention with this case is this thing right here is kind of flimsy. Matter of fact, I originally tried this. This was really flimsy. This just flexed way too much, so I could see the camera bobbing around a lot when I tried mounting it with this one. So I just did the little side mount that just pops in here on the side, and that flexed a little bit. There's a little bit of play on there because Sony's stupid. So I took this piece of weather stripping. This is just like window weather stripping from Home Depot, and I put that in there. And then when the camera's sitting in there, it creates enough pressure against this mount that it stays pretty solid. Another thing you might need, I hadn't actually used this. I'm pretty sure it works, but this is just a little adapter for the bottom for the audio. So whether you've done the top mount, in fact, especially if you've done the top mount, or if you just want a little more room in the bottom, you got a little 90-degree adapter for your microphone. That kind of gets things a little bit lower profile. Put that right there. Put my leash in. And that's my camera rig right there. So I'll give you a nice close-in shot right there. So if y'all have any questions, you want any photos or anything, better looks of this, just let me know. I'm happy to help y'all out. I'll put links in the description for the products here. You know, this, that. I do have a setup for my GoPro. If you've never seen that, I have a video on how I set my GoPro up here in my visor. So I'll put a link to that in the description. Everide's got a video where he mounted this camera on a helmet. Basically, I stole this idea from him, where I'm just using some aluminum piece from the hardware store and some DaVlog, except he has his with more surface area, and his camera's actually right down here, which it is a better camera angle, I gotta admit, but you look like a deformed unicorn when you ride around like that, so I didn't do that. So, all right. That's all I can think of. So I hope this was helpful, and I'll catch y'all later. Over and out.